corn. There's other varieties. They take it and boost the toxin 1,000 times what sometimes naturally occurs and is a natural pesticide. It's a symbiotic relationship with the corn and other plants and the fungus or the bacteria, depending on which one it is. And then if bugs eat it, they die, folks. And then we're eating it. It's a pharmacological crop. Look it up. 15 years ago, they were growing live HIV in corn. Open air in Texas. That's what's going on. They can grow chemicals in corn. They can engineer corn to grow Coca-Cola in it if they want. That's how neat plants are. Look up pharmacological crops. They can do anything. We're not in Kansas anymore, folks. We are in the advanced 21st century. The year is probably about 2045 right now, technologically speaking. John in Michigan, you're on the air.
Hey, Alex. I was calling mainly because, we were bought at a price, and so we cannot become slaves of men, and, government, as I see it, is just man, so...
it's systems of extraction, systems of enslavement, systems of authoritarianism.
Right. And mainly, I've had this idea for a while. I don't know why everyone doesn't, file suit towards the IRS, mainly because for stealing our identities. Everyone, throws a lot of words around, citizens, person, all this, but, the legal, definitions, there's three different definitions for the term United States. There's the country, the United States, and there's the federal zone, the United States, and then there's the collective states of the Union, And, the same thing turns to what a citizen, we're not citizens. If you're born in this country or your parents were, you're a national. You're a state national. You're a member of your state. And
That's right. That's right. Originally, you were a citizen of your state, and then they had for a mutual defense combine the federal government.
Yeah, and it's sad because a lot of people don't grow up learning any of that. And, also...
Sir, the average American doesn't know that the Earth orbits the sun.
It's pretty insane. Main person I think you should have on the show, too, Deborah Tavares, because she's the smart meter lady, silent weapons for quiet wars.
I think we've had her on a couple times. Very, very interesting lady, John.
She's very even into this taxation stuff. But I think we should file suit against the IRS for stealing our identities. I mean, because most people send in the 1040, and they admit to being residents, and we're not residents.
Plus, you violate your Fourth Amendment, your Fifth Amendment. You waive your right to incrimination. I appreciate your call. Money Magazine's done, and others have done 30, 40, 50 different tax returns. The same tax return to different CPAs. They all give you a different answer. And, again, it was set up in 1913, the Federal Reserve. That same week, they passed the IRS Act. It wasn't even widespread implemented until the 50s. It is a tax to offshore banks. And that's just an absolute fact. Ronald Reagan's own commission found in 81, not 1 cent of the IRS money goes to run the country. It goes to interest on the debt to offshore banks, which the debt only gets bigger because that's how they control us. Just like banks don't want a farmer to ever get out of debt. I mean, this is really 101, folks. And old-timers knew this, so we couldn't be enslaved. I mean, we are so enslaved, it is just unbelievable. Clinton, Ohio. Clint, you're on the air.
Hello, yes, I'm calling because of the Teddy's Law that I emailed you about. I emailed The Blaze, I emailed Coast to Coast. And
all right, well, tell me about the law. What is it?
That was the Teddy's Law where they were going to have CSB come into your house if you wanted to homeschool and inspect.
Oh, yeah, that was that's in Ohio.
Right, I emailed you, and the next day you covered it, man. So as far as anybody saying you don't change anything, that law was gone in 2 days. We had people from the Philippines, from Canada, from Romania, from Israel, Germany, and the UK all call that senator and say that that's ridiculous. So I know you always have adults calling up and saying you stuff. So here, this is for the future generation, man.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Thank you, Mr. Jones. Thank you, Mr. Jones.
So you did do something, man. Don't let anybody tell you. And there's the kids. That's what it's all about.
Beautiful. Anything else, Clint?
Nope, that's it. Keep up the good work, man.
I will, brother. Imagine the horror of being Clint where they're going to send CPS to every homeschooler's home to open a criminal investigation that you're an abuser or make you get a teaching certificate to be able to homeschool your children. That's the final domino, folks, coming for our kids. Doesn't matter the homeschoolers win all the spelling bees, all the geography bees, that they're sought after by colleges and get full tuitions and scholarships. It doesn't matter that statistically they're not all screwed up. And again, homeschooling really isn't even homeschooling. There's these giant communities of homeschoolers. It's people that want out of the system, and that's what's so good about it. I mean, my parents were naive. They were really good people, but they grew up in the 50s. They put me in high school in Dallas, and it was unbelievable. The sex. People are like, oh, that sounds fun. No, it wasn't fun. The fighting. The drugs, which I never got into. The corrupt police. The meanness of the people, the persecution of nerds, the cliques. And I was like an animal in high school. And so I was oblivious to it all and didn't even know that, I'd been basically the most popular person in school because I was just completely like a mad dog, just not in a bad way, but like an animal. I was just, didn't even click into any of it and didn't follow anybody's style, didn't go with any of that, and saw the disdain by the cliques and things and all told them they were scum to their face. But even though I was super popular, I was in high school 3 years in Dallas because I was in so much trouble one year where I had to take off half the year and go work on the ranch. And then 2 years in Austin. I came to Austin and just kept my head down and, ended up making straight hundreds and just got out of school. But I didn't mean to get off into myself and say, I was popular in high school. My point is that it was a bad experience. It was a really bad experience. It was empty. And I just cannot imagine throwing my children in sixth grade where kids that have flunked 4 grades who are really 14 and you're 11 and they're beating you up. I mean, gangs beating you up. It's got to be 100 times I was beat up before I started literally just stomping the hell out of people. But my whole point is that, and I guess it made me who I am today, but I would not want that on my children. And I'm not knocking my parents. I know they listen. They were old school, coming with black eyes. Well, you just better be tougher next time. And that wasn't some macho bravado thing. That's just what old-time Texans are like. That's how my dad's dad was to him. But it's just a different world. Absolutely different world. These public schools are hellish, ladies and gentlemen. Some of them aren't that bad in rural areas, but my God, big cities, man, might as well just put your kid in a juvenile hall. It's bad. And the problem is you beat up one gang member, you got to fight the rest of them later. Then you beat them up, and you got to beat up their big brothers. Then you got to beat up their ex-con, older cousin who's 25 years old when you're 16. I mean, that's Dallas for you. You're at a Sonic and somebody comes out of the back of a truck with a knife trying to kill you. I mean, it's just animal land. I tell you, one thing I like about liberals in Austin, Texas, at least it's changing now because all the Dallas folks are moving in and stuff, is that people don't kill each other all over the place. And I really don't like getting in fights with people. I really don't like everybody got something to prove and starting trouble because, I've had enough of it, a lot of it. Let's go ahead and talk to Ray in Texas. Ray, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Alex, how are you doing, man?
Doing
Long time no talk.
Yeah, brother. What's on your mind today?
If you look up KVUE, man claims DPS falsely arrested him. I'm surprised that you haven't put my video on there, man. You actually have somebody fighting back that knew his rights, that knew the laws.
Well, I must have missed it. Tell me, it's KVUE. That's local TV, and in Austin.
Man claims DPS falsely arrested him.
Okay, I haven't seen that video. What happened?
There's 2 videos on there. And the police violated, I believe it was 8 of my constitutional rights, and I believe they committed 120 felonies amongst the 6 officers.
Okay, well, I haven't seen the video. What happened to you?
Well, it's a long story. I need to sit down and talk with you about it, dude. It's a long story, but they committed so many felonies in the jail, and otherwise, just like the bond, they violated my constitutional right by, it should have been like a $200 bond, which actually it shouldn't have been anything at all, but they gave me an $8,000 bond.
Well, let me tell you, the state of Texas, I was talking to a friend and he showed it to me. I want to do a piece on it. He has a 1993 Chevy Silverado that's worth about $3,000 on a good day in the Blue Book. And he went in to get license and registration because he bought it from his buddy for $3,000. And they told him this thing is worth $57,000, even though all the books show different. And we want something like $12,000. And they laughed at him and said, go get a state appraiser. Well, he can't find a state appraiser. And when he goes in, they all laugh at him. And that's happened to everybody I know. The states are just robbing everyone. And if you get arrested for, not having your driver's license on you or whatever, when you get there, they'll do all these fines and fees. Yeah, I know the government's just gone to seed. And the government's been told, raise taxes over and over again, or raise taxes or you're going to go bankrupt. Well, no amount could ever keep us from going bankrupt because they want us to go bankrupt. But listen, a caller called earlier and said, thanks for calling. Thanks for covering how they tried to ban homeschooling in Ohio. Okay, I'm glad I saw that and covered it. I remember covering it. But, I mean, I'm not omnipresent, bro. I don't know about your case with the DPS. You say you're surprised I didn't cover it.
It's just somebody that stood up to them and fought back and is winning.
No, I know. But, I mean, do you understand that I didn't know about it?
No, I understand. You have a lot on your plate.
No, but you're saying you're surprised. I mean, so you're winning. How are you winning?
We won our 12B6 against the APD.
Well, that's good. I'll look up your video. I appreciate your call. We got Chris in New Hampshire, Fred in Canada, Dave in Michigan, Jay in Wyoming. I don't know if I can get to all of you, but I'll try. Did a good job. They took a lot of phone calls. There's a study out that being in a dark room makes you think better. And when I'm in there with just a couple lights on, no cameras on, I'm very relaxed today. Also did a grueling workout this morning. Super grueling, folks. And I am just absolutely in a very relaxed mode. I hope everybody's okay with that today. Not the normal Tasmanian devil. LaGrange, down on the ranch. They got some really nice girls, yeah. How. Wonder what this song's about.
But now I might be mistaken.
By the way, folks, this hour was brought to you by MyPatriotSupply.com/Alex to find their specials. MyPatriotSupply.com/Alex. Non-GMO, great customer service ratings. It's who I've chosen to use. You need to be prepared and not be dependent on the system. I think that's obvious. MyPatriotSupply.com/Alex. And please don't forget, we have the Super Male Vitality with the 8 super herbs concentrated to naturally try to block the estrogen mimickers in your body and just really supercharge your overall energy, libido, so many other things. Weight loss, for me personally. We only bring you the very best at InfoWarsLife.com, and your purchase of the Survival Shield, Nascent Iodine, the Fluoride Shield Detoxer, the Super Male Vitality, all of it, I believe, will contribute to a better lifestyle for you and health. Just like the great southern Mexico, high mountain, Chiapas, organic, volcanic soil grown. Arabica is my favorite. We have 2 different blends. I hope you'll check that out and try that out at InfoWarsStore.com or InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139. I took a lot of calls today. And like I said, I had pneumonia last week, and I've still got a little bit of a hoarse voice, so I'm not trying to talk like Batman. I'll assure you this is what my voice sounds like. But I probably need to take some time off. I'm probably going to go visit a voice doctor. I've never really gone and had I guess a throat, eye, or whatever they call it, doctor. I've got a good name of one just to get checked out what's going on down there. So I was seeing another doctor last week, and they recommended I do that when they were looking down my throat. After all my yelling and screaming, didn't mean to get the signature voice on purpose. There's a lot of news I haven't gotten to that's up on Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. One of them is really creepy. Secret U.S. government watch list forces companies to place hold on orders. Australian David Jones told his order had been delayed due to the name being flagged by a database. A secret U.S. government watch list is forcing companies to place orders on hold in case they want to grab them and put